Hey, everybody. Thanks for tuning in to another episode of Beyond the Track with Daniel Blair. That's me, Daniel Blair. And a huge shout out, of course, to Cooper Tires. Thanks for being a part of this series. This is the episode 1 of 21. Man, we're finally into a new year, and hopefully it's a good one. I'm excited to get things going with the new year. We wanted to come out banging for the first one. That's why we had to go and get 7 Deuce Adam Enticknap to start the new year with us. And Adam, first, welcome to the show. But secondly, dude, you got some new music we got to talk about. But you hit in 2021 pretty hard, man. That's why we wanted you on first.
Thank you so much. I appreciate you guys having me on. Excited. I've watched a bunch of Beyond the Track episodes, and I'm just happy to be here.
Did you watch the Dustin Pipes episode?
Absolutely. I watched the Dustin Pipes episode, baby. That's my boy.
How about the Max Anstey? Because, look, we like your team. We like you guys.
Dude, honestly, I mean, I'm going to go off on a limb right here, but we are the coolest team in Supercross, period. I mean, that's just the way it goes.
Hey, I'll tell you what, the Husky guys have had that title for a while. When you got
True.
Dino,
they got some cool dudes on that team.
They do. But you guys, it's getting cooler every single year. And I wanted to have maybe Brandon Hartraft on, but the problem is he hasn't released any music lately. So it's you, bro.
Yeah, no, it's pretty cool. On December 22nd, I released those 2 new songs, One Last Breath and Coming Back Around, with the episode Depth that Motoco the movie did on me. And I've gotten nothing but absolutely wonderful feedback on the video and the song. So it's been great. What a way to start off 2021. Excited.
Yeah, it's good, man. Thanks for coming on again to Be on the Track. It's going to be a fun episode. We're going to go all over the place. We'll talk some racing stuff, of course. Can't help it. But I do want to go beyond the track more than most because, again, you've done something so cool, man. And I did the same kind of thing. I didn't take it to the level you've done. You've done so good at this. But you've created another you away from the track to where it's just another avenue, not only for your own branding and marketing, but even for your own enjoyment. And I know you're passionate about this stuff. So let's just kind of start right there. I mean, dude, you're doing the music thing. You've been doing it now for a long time, but it's starting to evolve. You're changing genres. I mean, where's your passion at right now with music? Is it as high as ever? Because, I mean, these 2 songs, dude, you killed it. And I have to imagine that right now you're really feeling it.
Yeah, I mean, I've always loved music. Music has always been something that has brought me beyond the track, you know, and lately I've been getting better and better at it. I actually recently built my own studio. It's like a 6x7 full insulated booth. It's got ventilation system. LA Vocal Booth helped me out building it. It's completely soundproof. I got my whole studio set up in there with my monitors, you know, Pro Tools. I got, you know, a sweet little preamp. I have my Universal Audio Apollo, and I have my microphone sitting in there so I can kind of zone out and just do my own thing. And I love it because it really does take me beyond the track. And these last 2 songs have really just taken off instantly. With the video, like I said, Depth, those guys did an absolutely wonderful job on giving me an avenue to kind of express myself and give me a chance to say, hey, this is me. And I've taken my music to the next level. And I think everybody's been hearing that, especially because the plays that I'm getting right now are unbelievable, and the consistency in plays. So I'm excited for what's in the future with my music, and I'm excited for less than 16 days we get to race in Houston.
Both are good, right? I mean, dude, we're coming up on the season right now, so I know you're working hard. I just saw you at the Madera Supercross.
Yeah.
That was fun. But, dude, I got to say, like, I think you're looking the best I've seen you on the track ever. Just confident, strong. You look tight. So I know you're doing your work, but, dude, like, the balance between them. Like, recording isn't easy. I mean, you know that now. It is not easy. This isn't something where, let me go press a button and then I'll give it to y'all. Like, you got to put a lot of time and work. So how are you juggling right now? You're evolving as a singer and a songwriter at the same time that, dude, you look like you're the most prepared I've ever seen you. So where are you finding this extra time, and can I borrow some?
Yeah, no, straight up. And you know where I find my extra time is that I really prioritize everything. And having something that gets me away from the track and gets my mind off of how hard I got to work the next day is the perfect thing that I need. Because something that I've been integrating in my program is, just loving the challenge. I get to do something that's really, really, really hard. And that's freaking cool. I would hate to have to do something easy. So that's how I progressed in my racing this year. Not to mention, after doing outdoors, I had this whole different appreciation for what Supercross is. So I absolutely love Supercross, and I'm trying to put everything that I can into Supercross. But how I actually get through with the music and progress and have progressed so much is that I drive a lot. I drive every single day. Just today I drove 70 miles to the track because I'm staying up in Hesperia. So it's a 70-mile drive there and a 70-mile drive back. Luckily, I've gotten so good at producing and recording that when I go home on the weekends, all week, all I'm doing is writing and crafting a sound in my truck. I turn on the beats that I get from my producers or the beats that I make, and I go, okay, where do I want to start? How am I feeling? What do I need to tell? What story do I need to tell? What do I want to tell my fans? What do I want to bring to light? What can I get people through? What am I going through right now that could help other people out, if I express myself? So that's kind of where I start. And then I hop in the truck. I grab my little cup of coffee in the morning. I absolutely love my little routine. I get in there and I crank it up, and I just start singing along. I start with a couple na-na-nas, and I find a little melody that I'm grooving with, and I'll repeat that for about 5 minutes, hit the record button on my phone, and voila, that's the start of a song. So just a lot of singing, a lot of writing, and, just using the time that I have efficiently in my truck, in the plane. And then it's almost like it's like literally perfect, because as a musician, I'm sure, you get into the studio and you get this great idea, and then you're stuck and you're like, dang, how do I finish that? And you don't want to ruin it because the idea that you started with is so good. And you're like, oh my gosh, this is so rad. I know this is a hit. And then you try to force it, you try to force it, you try to force it. And then it turns into something that you didn't want. And finding a pathway to making it something you want is very difficult. And sometimes you have to kind of say, hold on, let me come back to that. And with being in the truck, I don't have to force it. I don't have to sing to anybody. I don't have to be in a studio where I got a bunch of people looking at me. We need to come up with something right now. We have to do this. I can go on my truck, I can miss notes. I can hack the whole thing. And then I'm like, oh, that was it right there. And then all of a sudden you start piecing it together. You piece it together. And then by the time the weekend comes, I can actually have like a work track that I can record. And then once I get the work track, I spend another week listening to it and say, oh, this is what I want to change. This is what I want to do. So it's almost like I have so much time to construct and little time to nail it. So I take my time during the week when I'm driving or after I work out, to get that stuff done, organize all my thoughts, and lay it down on the weekend.
That's perfect. I mean, I know you've heard this and you've experienced it, but you got to strike when the iron's hot. Like when you're trying to create a melody or a lyric, man, I've had it where, dude, you're paying for a producer, you better finish this line, whatever, and you're just like, you have nothing, like you said, but then randomly you'll just, the lightning hits you and you'll come up with something insane. So with that, I got to ask, what's the voice memos in your phone look like, bro? How many files do you have in the voice memos of just the na-na-nas and all that? Because again, it could be 3 in-the-morning, 11 at night with friends or by yourself. When it hits, you've got to put it down somewhere.
You have to record it. You have to.
Because
I'm not kidding you.
Adam, you will not remember it the next day if you don't.
Oh my God, I've done it so many times. I can't remember it. I'm like, oh my gosh.
So how's the voice memos looking? Is it stacked?
I'm not kidding you. I'm not joking. I have 10,000 plus voice memos. And the way I organize it, and it's really hard to do, but I've found a way to organize it now, is I'll write down the date, the name of the beat, And then after that, I leave them until I'm done. And then if I start another beat or I start another melody, I put, you know, the date, the name of the song that I want it to be, and the melody. So that way I can search. And then all those after that are part of that song. So that's one thing. And then, you know, and that's not even notes, you know, lyrics I've written down. I've written down in my notes.
Those are just the audios. Your notepad is probably psychotic too, because you're actually writing down the lyrics.
It's psychotic. And then on top of that, I have my MP3 files where I have, you know, probably, I'm not kidding you, at least 500 songs, you know, that are either, you know, partway finished, completely finished, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, not kidding, versions of that one song, 14 versions of that one song in a row, you know? So, it's something that just, it takes time. And with riding my dirt bike, it takes a lot longer because, you know, as you know, when you're done riding, there's no creativity. You're toast. I'm peanut butter and toast. My most creative time is in the morning. I wake up, I get all my bike work done. I do my little morning routine. I get in the truck, and that's when it happens.
Get that coffee.
Exactly. And then as soon as I get to the track, all business, I get done with the track. If I can get a little bit more done on the way home, perfect. And that's literally, you know, every day I'm spending around 2.5 hours on just music in the truck. So it's really cool because it doesn't hinder my riding. It actually kind of helps my day because it'll put me in a really good mood, especially if I find something that I really like. And then two, you know, there's rhythm on a track and there's rhythm, you know, in music. And I love being able to sing those lines while I'm on the track. And sometimes I won't even notice that I'm doing it and I'll just catch that flow. And it's weird how your mind will trigger, you know, that flow and that melody to flow with the track. And those days are really cool too.
You get your tempo dialed while you're on the track.
It's weird. I'll catch myself. Yeah, I'll catch myself singing what I was singing that morning in sync with the jumps without even knowing that I'm singing it. You know what I mean? And it's just, it's where you're so in the moment when you're riding, and there's something that just switches on when you ride a dirt bike. And it's just like, it's weird how those two things click for me.
I've always noticed this too. I'm sure you've had the same, where you put a lot in the voice memos, whatever, and then you don't think about them and you go back and listen and you'll be like, oh, dang, okay, that was good. But the best is when, the best is when you come across one, you're like, what was I thinking? That is the worst thing I've ever heard in my life. What happened? And you got to go look at the date. You're like, what happened to me that day? Like, what is wrong with this one? Dude, and I've had to delete a bunch out, and that's how you filter through, right? That's how you find the good. Is you got to have bad. We're like, dude, we're not John Bon Jovi and Eminem here, dude. We're not gonna nail them all. Like, we got to delete some stuff. You know what I'm saying? But I've always found those to be the funniest ones because I'm like, I gotta find out like what I ate that day because it was bad.
Dude, I'll go, and it's funny that you say that too, because you don't really know if it's good or bad for at least 24 hours. You know, there's
always good when you're recording it.
Exactly. You're like, there's something in your head that makes it work. And then you listen back to it and you're like,
I did that? That's embarrassing.
Trash.
Not only delete it, but then go in that second box to double delete it.
Yeah, the recently deleted and then delete it out of there to make sure you never hear that in your life again.
So that thing doesn't accidentally pop up in a memory or something.
Yep. Oh my goodness.
Hey, so all right, let's pivot that into a hard question then, because you just came out with 2 songs. How do you take all of that and then choose the 2 that you ultimately want to release? Like, I mean, these are the ones you're putting your name to. Like, what's in your voice memos is you. Like, no one hears that. But you decided these 2 got to come out. One is a country song, bro. Like, Adam, my man. Like, singing. And then One Last Breath is a different style. We'll get to that. But why do you choose those 2? And how do you get to that choice when you have thousands of these things in your phone?
The 2, I picked these 2 because so far they've meant the most to me. And I felt like the audience that I have would appreciate them the most, especially the riding. And starting with One Last Breath, I went on a 100-mile road bike ride, and I was at like I would say 85-mile mark, you know, and you're like, you're done. You know what I mean?
You had
Like, I don't care.
You had one last breath left.
Yes.
And 15 miles to go.
Yes. And I had 15 miles to go, and there was this big hill. And when I was going up that hill, I realized how much pain affects who you are and what you do. And when I wrote that song, I had just got done with that ride. And I said, and I was just thinking about how much pain shapes who you are. And I said, as long as I have one last breath, I won't let pain predict who I am. And that was kind of how that whole basis of a song, because the more and the more pain you go through, you know, usually the closer you are to your goals. And in that case, it was, because the more pain that I went through on that bicycle, it got me closer to it. And that was another line in the song that really means a lot to me, is that pain lies to you. It's telling you, you know, there's certain type of pains, obviously, that you need to stop. But in that case, pain's lying to you and telling you, please stop, you're hurting, don't go anymore. But really, if I go more and I go farther, I'm going to be exactly who I want to be, and I'm not letting pain control who I am. So that was the big thing with One Last Breath. I thought everybody in the motocross community could relate to that, because we've all been through accidents. We've all been through the pain of training. We've all been through that last lap where you want it so bad and you're pushing so hard and you know you're on your limit, and you either make that mistake or you come through. And as long as you have one last breath, you can keep doing it. So it was just a motivational song for my whole motocross family and everybody in our community to have something to hold on to be able to listen to and give them strength during that time of pain. So that was One Last Breath. And always coming back around, that one's I would say more personal to me, and not so much, you know, directed towards the motocross community. And I'm sure you can relate to this. It's everybody makes mistakes in their life. And as a kid, you grow up in your hometown and everybody knows everything about you. You know, your neighbor, your mom, your cousin, you know, everybody in your hometown knows about you and knows your past. And, you know, a lot of people from my hometown and my school probably never thought I would be a professional motocross racer or a supercross star. But if I let all those people tell me what I was going to be, then I would never be here. So it's about a journey through life where, you know, life is bigger than your hometown, and you have to go beyond your hometown. You have to experience the world. You have to be who you are to really find out who you are. And you'll always come back around. Yeah, you'll come to hometown, you come visit, you say what's up, smile to the camera, smile to the old family, and do you. But, you know, everybody makes mistakes. Everybody's going to live their life, and everybody's coming back around. So that's where that one was.
It's awesome. And again, it's something that meant a lot to you personally, but relatable to your audience. My question is, I mean, you've told me now that the audience is stoked. I'm stoked. I mean, I like it. I come from a more rock, that's as a fan. So for me, One Last Breath was a move more into my world. So I loved it. But your audience wasn't ready for that, Adam, to be honest. I didn't know that was coming when I pressed play the first time. I didn't know that. How has it been? Like, what are they saying? I mean, obviously there's people that are fans of you no matter what. And as long as you're giving it your all, they're going to love it no matter what because of you. But then you have genre specific people. How are the genre people handling this shift? Because this is different, way different.
It was weird because I got a lot of text messages the first day I dropped those two songs. They were like, we didn't even know you could sing. You know what I mean? And it was like, and nobody really did know that. And, you know, my grandma sang around the world in orchestras, and nobody knows that about my past. And I think I got a lot of my singing technique and stuff like that from that side, and I wanted to display my talent. I've loved rock music since I was a little kid. I grew up on AC/DC. That's what I grew up on, AC/DC and Eminem. And at first, rap was easier to do. You know what I mean? It was just like, it was a little bit of rhythm, you know, find a little flow, catch the groove of the bass drum and the, you know, with the kick and the snare, and you're in there like swimwear. And I think why my Bike's Too Lit came across so well is because it was in key, and I was kind of, you know, nailing those notes a little bit.
You were pushing the vocals harder in that one. There was more aggressive, and you were having to hit notes and tone more than the other ones for sure.
For sure. And as I grew to figure out and find my sound, I said, that's what Drake's doing. That's what all these top-notch guys are doing. They're singing melodies and they're rapping at the same time. Mm-hmm. Well, I listen to Lil Peep. I listen to Nirvana. I listen to AC/DC. I have a bunch of rock music and punk music that I absolutely love. And I said, one last breath after I got done with that bike ride, I don't want to make a rap beat to this. I want to make some kind of hard new style rock beat that's going to really touch your soul and grab you. And that's why I had those synths and that 808 in there, you know, with the guitar. And I was like, this is exactly what I want it to be, because it still has that kick that everybody loves with new age hip hop. And it still has that old school vibe feel with the guitar. So it kind of was like, okay, let's join both worlds. And then 7 Deuce Deuce, can you display some talent? I was like, here we go, baby. Let's try it.
Yeah, and that's what's weird too, is because you make the shift musically. Obviously, you're adding the guitars and adding that, but then you're adding this another layer to you as a singer and a vocalist. But it still felt like you. You know what I mean? Like even though you took a turn, it still felt like you and sounded like you and kind of had the same style. You know what I mean? Even though it was genre different, I felt like you had your same attitude that you had in the other ones, but just steered this way now. And I'm wondering if that's maybe why everyone's liking it, because that bridge. You didn't go, let me try something completely way over here in left field. You just bridged over. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and
I'm wondering if that's where that positivity's coming.
I think the positivity's coming a lot from that. You know, staying true to who I am is one of the biggest things I've done for my career and my fans and my music. And I think people can hear that too. I think that good music is good music no matter what too, though. You know, and that's been my goal since the beginning, is making good music. So that was one of the biggest things that I wanted to hit on when I made this song. Is I was like, I just want to make good music. I don't care how it comes out. I just want to, when I'm done with it, I want to think it's good. And at that point, I was like, this is good. And when I released it, obviously I was really nervous about reactions, but I think people were really impressed with my singing and just, I think a lot of it was the depth of emotion and character that it had, because everybody sees the happy-go-lucky 7 Deuce Deuce, and now they get to see, you know, wow, this dude is going through something. This dude is going through pain. This dude is working really hard, and this is what it came out like. And I think it's just really relatable because, dude, nobody's perfect. Everybody's going to have an up and down ride. You know, there's good times, there's bad times. That's the way it goes. But I just think that people were really stoked to see a new side of me, and I think people were really stoked that it was good.
Kind of thinking about it just as a progression and career-wise, your other music was more themed. It was moto related, obviously. My Bike's Too Lit. That's not a general concept. It's very themed towards moto. Was this move for you to kind of broaden up the meaning of the song and not be so exclusive to something? Is that a career move a little bit too, where now you're going to open up and be like, look, I can write about things that just people generally go through, not dirt bike people? Like, because this song relates to any human being out there, where the other ones, you know what I'm saying, were steered more towards this audience. This opens up everything. Was that by design?
Yeah, that was 100% on purpose. And that, I think that's another reason why people like the song, is because it doesn't have a single moto thing in it. And if you didn't know anything about moto, you could still listen to this song and be like, oh my gosh, yes, I've been through that. I'm going through that. But the coolest thing about it that's so original is that if you know me and you know moto, it 100% pertains to motocross. You know what I mean? So it doesn't necessarily say moto, but if you know me and you know the song and you know a little bit of the background, you're like, this is a moto song. This came from a moto dude. But if you don't know moto, you can listen to that song and say, hey, this is what I'm going through. I went to the gym, you know, I was riding my bicycle, you know, I was having a hard time at work, whatever it is. I'm having a hard time with my family, you know, my marriage, whatever. It doesn't matter. It still will be relatable to that person too.
Dude, I love it. You're speaking my language, man. I swear, if I don't get some control of this interview, dude, we're gonna nerd out the whole time on music. So I gotta turn this. I gotta go back to the dirt bikes for a minute, and then we'll come back. But so I saw you what, a week or two ago now, 10 days or so.
Yep.
And looking good, looking fit. You ready to go? Like, dude, it's coming. Like, dude, flights are next week, so it's go time. Are you ready? Is the team ready? What's up?
Yes and no. I always want more time. I'm 100% more prepared than I've ever been in my whole entire life. When we were doing the H.E.P Supercross series, it was nice that we did that because I definitely need to work on my sprints and a little bit of my speed, which I've shaped these last couple weeks very, very well. And I've dropped a lot of lap times, but I think that was because I did a lot of my hard work prior to that. I was doing laps on laps on laps on laps on laps. You know, I was getting anywhere between 60 and 70 laps a day at the track and spinning on my road bike and doing my mountain bike and doing everything I needed to do. And after outdoor, I had actually lost, right after outdoor, I'd lost 15 pounds and I've been losing a little bit more weight. And it was like instantly it kind of just transferred me into this mode that was like, I got to get this work in right now. And what I did was I went November and I said, let's do it. I know we got an extra 2 weeks before Houston, but I need as much time as I can possibly get on my dirt bike. So I went to work. I put my laps in. I logged my hours in the gym. I logged my hours on my bike. And I'm just really happy with where my body's at and where my fitness is at this year. And it's just cool to see that now that I've swapped over to just doing sprint laps and working on little things to make my speed come up, that it's coming a lot faster than it ever did because I'm more able to get there because what my body can do on a daily basis. So I think I know I'm more prepared than I've ever been. And with this new change to Showa, it's been incredible. You know, Clark's doing an absolutely wonderful job on the suspension, and I think the components are next level. It's been awesome riding with Max Anstey. You did an interview with Max. He's such a great guy. Riding with Brandon every day. It's given me like just such a nice blueprint of, hey, this is how you do it. This is where it's at. That's the bottom line. When you ride by yourself and, you know, when you're pretty close to your teammates, it's kind of like, well, am I doing the right thing? How fast are we going that day? You know, do I need to gain speed? When we went to Madeira and did that Supercross, it was kind of like, yep, that's what I need to do. That's the data. That's the bottom line. This is where we need to be. So I did all my base work, you know, at the beginning of the off season, and now I just get to work on my sprint work. So I'm excited for Gate Drop on Houston 16.
You how much weight total loss from last year's Supercross to now?
Probably around 20 pounds.
Yeah. So, I mean, is that a gear size or two? Because, like I said, when I saw you, I was like, dude, this guy's tight. Like, you just look tight. And I noticed even the way you're riding the bike, it just seemed like you were throwing the bike around a lot more. Just almost, and then, again, it's not from a strength thing, almost as a, like, lean thing. You just seemed lighter on the bike. Yeah. Oh, yeah. You seem more agile.
I've been doing a lot of stretching and just opening up my hips, and you know, it's a full-time job. You know, like people don't understand. And for all you kids out there, you know, that are listening and that are trying to get better, stretching is very important, especially for being on a dirt bike. You know, doing your yoga or doing your stretch videos or whatever you got to do to stay limber is very important, because the more you ride your dirt bike, the tighter your muscles are going to get, and then they just keep tightening up, and you have to stay limber. And I think that's been a big part of my program, is just limbering up and losing weight and really working on just quickness. You know, I've been big and kind of slow, and I've been really working hard on my quickness. So I think it's all I think it's all really going to help.
Nice. Get those fast twitch muscles firing.
Yeah, you don't
back
realize it
indoors.
when you watch those kids like Austin Faulkner, you know, and a lot of these really fast young kids, they move fast. You know, their transitions are
Everything's
quick,
impactful and quick. It's
quick and deliberate, but calm too at the same time. So, working hard and trying to get better on my dirt bike.
I love it. Speaking of getting better, I'm close with the Pipes family. I've known them since I was a little kid. I'm super happy for them just getting in the first place a couple of years ago. When I heard they were getting in and getting a team going, I'm like, right on. They'll do a good job. And it's cool to see them progress, and you've been able to see it from the inside, but it's just getting better and building and building. And it seems to me, just talking to Dustin, you guys got the right people in the right spots to make the bike good, the team good, the riders good. I mean, he's building this thing really, really well. But from your take inside more, like, what have you seen? Because it's no question they're progressing.
I think the biggest thing that I've seen is that Dustin has put together a team that cares. Period. And that's how H.E.P goes. Everybody wants to see everybody get better, and everybody cares about getting better. It's not show up to work at 9, get done with your day, and end it at 5. It's if we need to do something at 6 o'clock at night, everybody, no matter what, will be, hey, what do we got to do? Get on the phone. Let's do it. It's more of a family than it is. I mean, we're a team, but we're also a family that cares about what everybody's doing and wants to progress. I think that's the coolest thing that Dustin's done. And Dustin's a phenomenal team manager. He's a phenomenal guy in general, but I think that he's done an excellent job on putting a team together. You know, it's not necessarily, you know, it's always about having a star athlete too. You know, everybody wants a superstar, but, you know, he's just pieced together such a great squad that intertwines so well. Everybody, all the relationships between everybody are really great. And I think that's a big part of why you're seeing success on the track and in the industry. You know, when you have character like that, and when you say you're going to do something and you do it, that goes a really, really long way. And Dustin is top notch at that.
I've noticed with him, you know, he'll call me every once in a while. We'll have a conversation, and he'll, you know, throw something out. And it seems like everything he says, I'm like, that is from a rider's perspective. And it's funny because he's a team manager, but he's not that far away from being a rider. And it's like, it's got to be good for you guys having a guy like that who speaks rider. You know what I mean? He'll throw something in on me like, that's coming from a guy who just was racing, because you're thinking like what a rider would want, but yet he's now on the other side and can give you guys what you want because he's like one of you. And that's, I feel like that's probably helping over there too with just this whole thing, is because your team manager is still a young guy who just was racing. There's like a real easy connection as far as communicating with a guy like that.
Yeah. He's still a businessman too. Dustin Pipes is a businessman for sure. But you're right. And the cool thing is that Dustin just lays it out. He said, hey, Adam, this is what we got to do. And this is why we got to do it. And this is the balance in between. You know, if you need this as a rider, you know, this has got to happen. And he just lays it out for you. It's not like, hey, Adam, do this and you're done. No, Dustin comes up to me. He has a conversation. There's logic behind it. He comes from a rider point. He comes from a manager businessman point, and we meet right in the middle. So, I mean, it really is like the perfect scenario.
It is good. And then how about for you, just having that, you know, that just familiar with the bike, and again, like just getting some of that, you know, when you get past a year or 2 years and you start building a program with a team, and you get past that, you know, the uncomfortable stuff with the bike and the team, does it feel good to just be back again? You know what I mean? And just have that continuation. That way you can work off of what you built. You don't have to start over with a new bike or whatever. It's just an improvement of what you had.
Yeah. I mean, that's a huge advantage, right? And the other huge advantage to it is that, like we just talked about, the team has progressed so much. You know, each year in and year out, Dustin has given us opportunities, and the whole team, everybody behind the team, has given us opportunities to improve everything and be able to go a new direction and say, hey, this is what we're working on. You know, this is how we're going to make it better. And we have our bikes from the last year, and you know, they have my feedback from the last year to say, hey, yeah, this is better or this is worse. We have an old bike from last year and we test the new bike from this year and we make little changes. And I know everything so well that, you know, they trust me on the judgment that can be made. So it's definitely really cool and reassuring to be back with such a great team and be able to build the team and improve and do my part as a teammate, you know?
Yeah, no question. Again, I love your team. I'll be hanging out there maybe more than normal this year. You guys it's getting cooler over there. Plus, you guys got the heartthrob, man, Brandon. Dude.
Yeah.
Don't let that guy fool you. He's still 21. I swear, that's my line with him because he's just such a grown man, you know? But, dude,
he is, bro.
He's still a puppy, dude.
Yeah. No, dude, Brandon's fast. I mean, he's like, we've been at the track lately, and that boy can put down some heaters. And I've never seen anybody go through a rhythm section like that kid, dude. I will tell you what. And on the 450, you can see the extra power he has. And he's just like, it's just so much easier for him to get over those jumps and do those quads. And he definitely ain't afraid to jump. So, I mean, Brandon's going to be somebody to watch. And I think whatever he starts out in the season, he's going to be a lot better by the end of the season.
Yep.
And I think he's going to start out really good.
Yeah, there's no question. He's still young. He's going to be a rookie. He's going to grow throughout the year. I agree with you 100%. Whatever we see in the beginning, I think will evolve by the end. It won't look the same. Wherever he starts, just expect it to elevate with no question. Let's talk about married life. How's it going? How is it? I'm 16 years in.
I'm like, I don't know if my wife has like a spell on me or what's going on, but dude, I'm like living in a fantasy. So I don't know. I mean, a lot of people scare me about marriage, but I mean, I'm doing pretty good, dude. So
that's good.
I mean, marriage life is pretty sweet, dude.
It is. Like I said, I've been with my wife for 16 years. Dude, everybody's going to have those times, whatever. But when you know you got the right one, you get through them pretty easy. So I was just curious, though, is she like, who does she like more? Adam the racer or Adam the musician? Like, which one of those, you know, which one of those does it more for her? Which one does she like more?
I think the guy who does it most for her is just at home Adam. Because
really?
like, yeah, for sure. Because it's weird because when I go to the races, I don't know how to explain it. It's almost like she's not cheering my racing on. She's just cheering me on. You know what I mean? It's like, it's weird. She's like, anything I do is just like sick. You know what I mean? It's like, it doesn't matter what it is. She's just going to cheer me on and back me, whatever I want to do. If it's riding a dirt bike, if it's making a song, she's just like my super hype crowd. And I'm like, hell yeah, let's go, babe. So, I mean, she gets down on me because she's competitive. So she'll ream me a couple times, you know, at the races if she knows I'm not doing what I'm doing. But I know that's because she wants to see the best for me, and she's always in my corner no matter what. So I think I would say definitely at home me she loves the most, just because, I mean, I guess that's the real me. I don't know.
Yeah, but I know what you're saying. It's different, but you see with your music and your writing is still, it's a branch off of you. It's you, how you express yourself and represent yourself. So, but I think my wife's the same way. She probably likes me the best on the couch watching Yellowstone, you know, more than
straight up
being on TV.
I'm the cook, so she definitely loves probably Chef Seven Deuce Deuce.
Oh, okay.
I make some pretty good food, dude. I'm like a gourmet cook, and I have my own like personal latte espresso machine. So I make her like a little personal lattes in the morning, and she's pimped out.
So that's why she likes at home Adam the best, because
maybe that's getting gourmet meals, baby.
How's she getting gourmet meals when you're tightening up? In fact, speaking of that, how did you lose the weight? Did you up training? Was it the diet change? A little of both? Like, how do you lose 20? Because you've been about the same for years that I've known you. It's a big change. Like, what'd you do?
Meal prepping. and being conscious of what I'm eating and trying to, I definitely am not doing keto, but I definitely found my body likes to do low carb. It loses a lot of weight doing low carb, but the biggest thing is just meal planning and prepping. It sucks, but it works. You know, just
it's just being disciplined, right?
Yes, I have my, and it's nice too, because it's like I take my food to the track, I have my little bowl, and I make it the night before, you know, and like there's no option to go anywhere else. Like I can't go get food here, you know, go to Chipotle and get this, you know, and it doesn't, there's no affecting my program by how much the person at Chipotle gives me food or what that food was cooked like that day. I know what I need to eat. I know my program. And on the flip side of that, because I've been making my meals and eating so consistently, I've actually found out a lot about what my body likes and what my body dislikes as far as food. You know, I didn't know how much my body hates lactose until I started eating the same things every day. And then I could kind of like X out like, hey, this is definitely the problem because I know what I'm eating every single day and I'm eating consistently. And this is when I'm getting affected at this time. And I've noticed a lot better performance and a lot clearer on how my performance is by eating specific things throughout the day and making sure that it's meal planned and eating consistently. So that's been probably the biggest change in my diet and my program. Not to mention, I talked to Weston and I asked him a few questions about, you know, what his training was like in the years he was when he got that podium and stuff like that. And I about shit my pants. So that changed a lot too. And so just a little bit of both.
Threw me off there. That's funny. I had a joke, but
oh God, here we go.
I know. I'm gonna say, hey, shit. Sometimes you need to know when to keep the joke in. I almost okay. Anyways, shifting back to some of the music stuff. Again, you evolved. Do you want to evolve again or more in another direction? Is there any kind of forced direction? Or is it what you're feeling? Like, could you go back to hip hop in the next one and just go back? Or do you want to go further? You know what I mean? Like, do you have a plan and a design where you want to go? Or is it more just on, like you said, one last breath, it didn't feel like a hip hop song. It felt like it had to be done the way you did it.
Yeah.
Is that what you're going with? More spontaneous feeling? Or do you have some direction of where you'd like to go?
No, I definitely think this is more the direction that I want to go. I'm always going to stay true to my hip hop and throw a little bit of rapping in there just because I think I'm pretty dang good at it. I like rapping. I freestyle a lot in my truck and I feel like I'm decent at it. So I want to incorporate some of that stuff. But 100%, the singing and the consistency of the melody and the feeling that I'm getting from these new songs is the direction that I'm heading. But incorporating a little bit of everything, you know, I don't want to be, one of my biggest fears is having an album that will come out that is pretty much the same song all the way through. I don't want to have that. I don't think that that's music. I think that's a record label saying, we're going to make 10 versions that sound like this, that are in the same key, and hopefully one of those hit. That's not life. That's not music. My next album that I'm working on, you know, it'll have that happy feel to it. It'll have some sad feels to it. You know, it'll have, you know, whatever the day might bring. Music isn't one mood. Music isn't one thing. A person isn't one personality. A person doesn't just have one feeling all the time. I want something that will take you on a ride, you know, through what life is. You know, I don't think that life is just one thing. It's a whole bunch of things. And I want you to be able to come through my life and experience, you know, what my ride of life is. So on my next album, I'll definitely be doing more singing, and hitting those melodies and nailing the lyrics and storytelling. But it's not going to be directly one genre.
Mm-hmm. So not going to be like this One Last Breath is the new you. No, that's just that song, how I was feeling and what I needed that one to message. The next five might be just completely in a different direction, true to you, but it'll be based on feeling and what's real at the time, instead of, like you said, being trapped. And do you kind of feel like that just even nowadays with the way the world is, being individual and not having a label, it's a good time for that right now. No one's performing live. So is it better to have that freedom to self-produce, come out with what you want to come out with, have nobody over your shoulder telling you what to do? And then I would imagine even reaping the rewards off it are better too, because it's yours. You're not getting a little penny out of each thing. It's actually yours. So do you feel like right now is a great time to be an individual act and not have that support, which ends up usually not even being support, ends up being more like prison? So do you feel like that a little bit?
Yeah, I 100% agree. I've been approached by quite a few labels, especially after my Bike's Too Lit, and I denied all of them just because I feel like they try to get you to a point where they're trying to hype you up, and then they're like, oh yeah, we're gonna do this, this, and this, and then it is what it is, and it's not a feeling of they want to help you. It's kind of like, oh, hey, we're going to give you this shot. We're going to promote you here, here, and here. If you don't take off, you're out the money. And, so long, see ya. I actually just got contacted by another label that I'm trying to work with right now that's trying to move in a totally different direction. So I hope that works out, and I hope everything goes good. But I 100% agree with you. I think that right now is the time for independent artists being who you want to be, being an individual, having your own personality, having your own theme. I think that is the trend of 2021. With everybody being in lockdown, with all this COVID stuff, everybody's locked up at home feeling like they're trapped. And being able to express myself and be my own me is my way of getting it out. So I appreciate the fact that I have my own freedom. I'm my own boss. I make what I want to make, and I have fun doing it. So as of right now, if people keep playing my music, people keep loving it, I don't really care what I put out as long as it's good.
I love it, man. Hey, Adam, this was an awesome interview, dude. I've been excited for this one, again, because I'm a music nerd and we're just music nerds. We can't help it. But I'm excited for you, man. Like you said, big 2021 came out with the songs. You're looking good. It's a good time right now, right? I mean, you're ready to go, feeling good, and I'm just proud of you, man. Really proud of you.
I appreciate that. I've gotten that a lot, and I just love being backed by Twisted Tea, H.E.P Suzuki. I think it's going to be a good year for the whole team, including me. I think this will be my best year for sure, and excited to get back to racing Supercross. Oh man, it's going to be so much fun. I put a lot of work in, and I'm ready for a big drop.
Too. A real one, not one that's live streamed by Tony Alessi only.
You know what I'm saying? A real gate drop. Come on, baby.
I know. Well, don't get too excited, because here in a few weeks, it's nonstop. And you know that even as fun as Supercross is, man, once you get started, dude, we hit it pretty hard, and we go for a long time. So you're amped right now. I'm going to hit you back up mid-March and see if you still feel the same.
Oh, that's funny. Oh, that's so
all right,
awesome.
Adam. Well, hey, you just laughed yourself right off the screen.
Yeah, I know. I got a phone call, but I'm back.
Thanks for coming on Beyond the Track, bro. It's been awesome, and I can't wait to see you in Houston. It's going to be a big year for you. Thank you.
Heck yeah, I appreciate it, Daniel. Love you guys.
Later.